Welcome to the Ringside Posdcast. We are live. We have a full episode of in-depth analysis. And now, let's go up to ringside with the owner of WorldWrestlingNews.com and your host, Michael Burgess.
Welcome to the Ringside Posdcast. What a show we have for everyone tonight. We have our full SummerSlam predictions. We have talk about Raw and the latest couple editions. And of course, we have a special SmackDown story. Could SmackDown be expanding to 3 hours? We've got much more and much more like this coming up your way live on the Ringside Posdcast.
You are now tuned in to the world's greatest. Tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah, we need to throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. Ain't miss, can't miss. When we burn it to the ground, everybody get down. Tonight. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah, we need to throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. Ain't miss, can't miss. When we burn it to the ground, everybody get down. Tonight is the night. Lights flashing when we step in the place, and you can feel the raw excitement from the look on their faces. The truth is you can find us wherever you are. Just look up, we're flying high with the stars, cause tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah, we need to throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. Ain't miss, can't miss. When we burn it to the ground, everybody get down. Tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah, we need to throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. Ain't miss, can't miss. When we burn it to the ground, everybody get down. Tonight is the night. You are now tuned in to the world's greatest. Tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah, we need to throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. Ain't miss, can't miss. When we burn it to the ground, everybody get down. Tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah, we need to throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. Ain't miss, can't miss. When we burn it to the ground, everybody get down. Tonight is the night. Lights flashing when we step in the place, and you can feel the raw excitement from the look on their faces. The truth is you can find us wherever you are. Just look up, we're flying high with the stars, cause tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah, we need to throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. Ain't miss, can't miss. When we burn it to the ground, everybody get down. Tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah, we need to throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. Ain't miss, can't miss. When we burn it to the ground, everybody get down. Tonight is the night.
Well, once again, welcome to the Ringside Posdcast. Once again, this is a special live edition. I cannot emphasize that more enough. So, without further ado, let's roll in with some top stories, and of course, some news, and of course, some very special announcements about WorldWrestlingNews.com that could affect the entire interactive globe of WorldWrestlingNews.com. Well, to get off with some news, let's talk about, could SmackDown move to a 3-hour format? Well, after a year of WWE's flagship show, Monday Night Raw, moving to 3 hours, could SmackDown be potentially following? Well, with SmackDown's contract really with Sci-Fi ending next month, I've got a report here from WrestlingInc.com, and they note that WWE could expand the show to 3 hours in a bid to make it more enticing to network executives. Well, if I said this, Raw really has become a success. It wasn't doing the greatest at the very beginning, but, it picked up. People are wanting to see all 3 hours. If they can keep going the way they have been, people can do. We all would enjoy it. But here's the deal. Here's my freaking deal. If WWE does this, I would not really care for reading spoilers. It's 3 hours of spoilers coming soon, basically. I don't know about you, but would you like to see 3 hours worth of spoilers? I mean, you could read the whole goddamn spoilers in less than a minute. And you know what the whole 3-hour show's going to be about, and that's what a lot of people do for SmackDown. And, you know, hell, I'm surprised Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago even had a very good... I'm surprised they had a good edition of Raw when it was taped. I'm surprised. But, you know, if SmackDown went live, I think that they should move it to Tuesday nights. Get rid of the Thursday... They got rid of Thursday night, but they should get rid of Friday night. It is no longer Friday Night SmackDown. We want to see Tuesday Night SmackDown. Tuesday SmackDown Live. That's what they should rename it as. SmackDown Live. Instead of going with Friday Night SmackDown, SmackDown Live on Tuesday nights. That would put on a hell of a show. We would have people to cover it at WorldWrestlingNews.com. Hell, just about any wrestling site out there can tell you. They will have you covered for results. Tune into our interactive results. They are really the most in-depth analysis, and they are your ticket to reading the best damn results you can. And, you know, this really is leading into a special announcement from WorldWrestlingNews.com. Later this fall, we are happy to announce this on the 6th episode of the Ringside Podcast, that WWE Raw results, SmackDown results, and WWE pay-per-view results, all three of those programs will be in addition. They will be their own show. So all three of those shows will be put together in one podcast weekly. Obviously, the pay-per-view, they won't be able to include there every week, but every month. So every week, we would have another podcast aside from the Ringside Podcast. And speaking about another podcast, I am happy to announce on this episode of the Ringside Podcast that coming this fall, there will be an official statement podcast. This podcast will only be used when an official statement is needed. As, of course, if you haven't heard, we do have an official statement on a misunderstanding that fans have took about us, about Darren Young. So check that out. That'll clear up a lot of misunderstanding that people have had with us. Well, what do you think? Would you watch SmackDown if it were going to 3 hours? Let's see what the fans say. Now, this is a total vote of 5,820. These are all the people who found the poll on our site. 67.2% said yes, and 32.8% said no. So that's over half. I mean, if you think about it, if that were the WWE universe, for instance, that if you just think about it, that could be over half of the WWE universe. That would be excellent. It would. But if you think about it, that's sort of what the ratings are already like. But I guarantee you Friday nights would get better if it were to go live. It would. For 3-hour edition, hell yeah. Now, let's move on to most likely match of the night of the candidates here. So we're going to talk about our top story. This will cover a lot of the hour. WWE SummerSlam 2013, most likely match of the night candidates. Now, what could we see match of the night here, candidates, at SummerSlam? Well, could we see, WWE has done a good job of the pre-shows. Why would they screw that up? I don't think they are. They have a hell of a pre-show. Whether you think it's demotion to put Rob Van Dam in the pre-show or not, I don't think it is. Their pre-shows have looked really good ever since WrestleMania this past year. You know, of course, their pre-shows really meant nothing before. But now, WWE is giving every person a reason to watch the SummerSlam kickoff show, pre-show. Kickoff show, pre-show, whatever you want to call it. We're going to call it the kickoff show. Dean Ambrose versus RVD for the U.S. title. I think it's going to be a hell of a match. You know, the Shield can deliver a hell of a heel promo. Now, moving off of the pre-show or kickoff show, what do you think about Alberto Del Rio versus Christian? Honestly, where the hell was the build? Did we not just see this match on SmackDown like a week ago for a non-title match? Now, why the hell would we see them again fight for the world title? Why the hell would we see that? I don't know. But, you know, getting to the CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar match, I do believe this is going to be a hell of a bout. But with what WWE did this past Raw, how can we think that? They made Brock Lesnar look weak. And CM Punk, what the hell? I mean, seriously, what the hell? Who the hell's... I don't know what WWE was thinking, honestly, for that. I don't. And, you know, I'm not the only person who agrees. Now, I don't think that Punk and Lesnar is going to be the main event anymore. I thought it for sure was going to be the main event. But I can certainly see now that John Cena versus Daniel Bryan is going to be the main event. And this questions a lot of people. Will Randy Orton cash in? Will he be the new WWE champion when SummerSlam ends? No! I do not think he's going to cash in. You know, WWE is really making this look obvious. It just looks too goddamn obvious. I do not think that WWE is going to make this really look... I don't think that they want this to look... They want to make it look obvious, I think, to trick fans. Because that's what WWE does. They trick fans. But let's move on to another story here. And we are going to come back to the SummerSlam in our second half. And that's going to really be our top story. Because that's going to get into our predictions and a longer, more full, in-depth analysis for that episode. For this episode. Of course, for SummerSlam. But let's just talk about the state of the World Heavyweight Championship for once. You know, the legends who have held that championship go on. They go on. You know, it really has been a total and utter disappointment. Especially during the PG era. Especially now that the brand split is over. It's just dead. It hasn't looked as good ever since Eric Bischoff brought it to the WWE after WCW went out of business. You know, but the WWE Championship, if you think about this, you know, that championship has been really good. I ain't kidding. This championship, we all thought, oh my god, look how ugly that piece of shit is. That's what we were all thinking when we first saw it. But, you know, it's not about the looks. I hate it when marks go out there, it's such a piece of shit! Just throw away that piece of shit already. Screw you, Rocky. You bring that piece of shit in the WWE. Really? You're gonna talk about who? guy, who gives a crap about the look?